السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا مولانا محمد رسول الله وآله وأصحابه ومن والاه. اللهم تقبل منا صيامنا وصلاتنا وقيامنا وأعمالنا واجعلها لوجهك خالصة، ووفقنا أبدا أن نكون ظاهرا وباطنا في طاعتك يا رب. And enable us, Ya Allah, to always be externally and internally in your obedience, sincerely, Ya Rab. Help us be of those whose only quest is to be in loving conformity with what Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam both love. And on that principle about what Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam love, again, this issue of Hilal, Ramadan, and of Shawwal, it never stops. May Allah Azza wa Jal unify the minds and the hearts of the Muslims. When that is not done, nothing helps. May Allah unify our hearts and our minds in the love of His Rasul, in the love of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May He remove from our hearts and our minds any sort of energy that is resistant to what truly Allah loves and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And of course, as we have said many times these past 2-3 years, that the criterion, the prophetic criterion from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam about beginning the fasting of the month of Ramadan and ending the fasting of the month of Ramadan is the physical, actual sighting of the Hilal, not anything else. And if you remember, some of you I hope do, and understood all the arguments and the evidence and the discourse we have presented, including the opinions of some people and some students of knowledge and some scholars about this issue. And I think we have spoken generally, which we did in many days, remember, of the unequivocal evidence that the way to truly be sure that you are following Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is sighting the crescent, not computing when it is born or how many degrees it is above the horizon and so on and so forth, because that's changing the criterion and then computing the criterion. You have to know that those who are using computations only, are not necessarily computing the sighting actually of the crescent. They have changed the criterion to, for example, the birth of the moon. Then that's computed. Or the criterion of the moon being above the horizon at sunset. That's what they're computing. And these are not criteria of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The criteria is to actually see it. And we're not even computing actual seeing. Do you see the difference? Some of you should know that. Some of you who are engineers and scientists and have some knowledge of fiqh and combine the two, you have to know this point. Please, this information is not only for me, it's for you as Muslims, because it will be your responsibility to uphold it, to be sure, inshallah ta'ala, that you're doing things the right way, without being, of course, fanatical about the truth itself. And therefore, without being one who is very eager and very easy to generate fitna and to generate violence and on all of that. Ma'adallah. But we have to know what is the fiqhi and the shari'i truth for sure. So, for this month of Shawwal, and please allow me if I could use the space, and because the maps are over there. I'm going to stand somewhere here, if you don't mind, so that you can see all of that. So please look at that map on your right or on your left. By now, many of you have seen things like this before, as we have been here and have done this a few times. Earlier, one of our dear brothers says, "Oh, I know this map. I saw it before." So no, you didn't see it before. because he thought it was the same thing each year. No, it's not. The colors are the same, the shapes are the same, but for every month, it's different. For every month, it's different in its details. And this is for this month of Shawwal. And you can see first visibility lunar crescent for Shawwal, 1438 Hijri. That is June 24th, Saturday at sunset. At sunset and after sunset in the world. Now, first of all, where's the pointer? Where is it? Okay, I can't. Yeah, I did it. I have to keep pressing that. Oh, okay. First of all, this red region, or that red region here, that red region in the world means at sunset, it means basically that the moon in that region of the world set before the sun had set. That means the moon had set before the sun had set, because the moon rises and it sets. Where does the moon rise? From which side? Who knows? Just like the sun, from the east. It rises from the east and it sets in the west. So, when it sets before the sun sets, what is there to see? It's gone. It sets during the day, in other words. It says during the daylight already. And therefore, that's called, it's an absolute zero possibility of seeing anything, because it's not there at all to be seen. The moon is not there to be seen. It's under the horizon. That's the red region. Is that clear? So if somebody lives in that area, and this is now exact science, this is not speculative, probabilistic science. Some of you know what I mean. This is exact science, like 1 + 1 = 2. Part of astronomy is an exact science, which they call positional astronomy, where the moon is, where the sun, where the earth, where the planets are at any moment in time, anywhere in the heavens. That is an exact science. And even our scholars hundreds of years ago, this science did not change much. They had also almost that much accurate knowledge about positional astronomy. So if someone living in that part of the world, in this month of Shawwal, who said, oh, we saw it, and all you can say, Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater than you. If he or she is an honest person, they don't know, they must feel something else, and they would understand if they understand what these things mean. If they have an agenda or something else, an axe to grind, you cannot deal with people of us like that. So that's number one. Now, this area, this white area, white meaning transparent, no color, this area, before this here, all this area. In that area, the moon sets after the sun sets, not before. In other words, when the moon sets, when the sun sets, the moon is still above the horizon. But it lasts such a short time that it is absolutely impossible to be sighted. Number one. Number two, in accordance to science, something called Donjon criterion, because the Donjon is the mathematician, astronomer who discovered this phenomenon. That even after the birth of the moon, when the moon was born, and then there is between the sun and the moon and the earth, there is enough angle separation, just an angle separation, to expect theoretically that there is a crescent He found out, surprisingly, that for a certain angle, there is still no crescent present. There is nothing to be seen, even with a telescope. So he tried to find out. And he found out and used some math, geometry, and found out something, actually, that yes, there is such a thing. Through mathematics, he found out that there is something which is called, now they call it Donjon criterion. That is, at a certain angle of separation, when that's not enough of an angle, even though there is separation, there is nothing to be seen. And that's the area. Is that clear? It's nothing to be seen. Are you with me?
I'm sorry, but that doesn't mean that Saudi Arabia didn't see it.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. So in this area, what countries do you see? Yeah, one of them you mentioned. Some of them you mentioned. I was shown by Sheikh Arsalan a report by Dr. Khalid Shaukat, who showed the crescent in Saudi Arabia with high telescope, powerful telescope. And it is barely sightable. And that's even debated. And then when a person comes, or 20 persons come, if they say, we saw it, and the non-conventional, modern, special telescopes could not see it, or saw it in a very, very flimsy, barely sightable thing. Well, that's fact, because it is in this area, because it's beyond, below what they call donjon limit. And that's expected. Now note that in this month, from the reports we received, this is where Morocco is. Can you see that? Morocco is going to be here in North Africa, all the way west of North Africa. All the way west of North Africa. West of it is the Atlantic Ocean until the Americas. They have not seen the crescent. And they monitor that every month of every year. And this is one country in the Arab countries that has always been, and I'm not from Morocco, it has always been consistent with actual sighting and actual signs. So this Shawwal, this month, their Eid is declared it Monday, because they say we did not see the crescent. If it is not seen in the West, it's impossible for it to be seen in the East. Please know that. If it is seen in the East, it must be seen in the West. If it is seen in the West, it doesn't have to be seen in the East. Why? Simply because when we go west further, it takes longer for the moon to set. In other words, it is older. And the older the moon is, the more probable we're going to be able to see it. It is that simple. Simplifying all this math and this astronomy is that simple. Now, these parabolas, the region of sightability or not of the crescent is a parabola. It is not a sphere. It's not a circle. It's not a line. It's a parabola. See, this is a parabola. Now you have red, yellow, and this color, and then all these shades of green, and then yellow, and then orange. What does that mean? First of all, in this orange region, that is, and you can read them here, those colors. That is, it can be sighted only by special telescopes. In that orange region, it can be sighted only by special telescopes, not conventional telescopes. Sorry? Read well. What does it say? Pardon me? Thank you. And therefore, beyond here is what telescope would see anything. Theoretically, not even telescopes would be able to see anything because it is again below the donjon limit. Yes, please. What do you think? You would what? Well, that's what we mean, politely. And that's what many ulama have said, of course. Even some ulama in Saudi Arabia. Not only Saudi Arabia, but any country who does that. Well, Oman is there, it's south of Arabia, but Oman did not cite it. They have Eid Monday. It's an Arab country, and it's just, in the same Arabian Peninsula. And as I said, even west of that, Morocco, they have not cited it. And at least they are consistent. Every year they are consistent with these criteria of citability. So we're learning, alhamdulillah, we just want to learn the facts. To learn the facts, to be people as Muslims who make our decisions on the basis of knowledge, of factual knowledge and shari'i knowledge. As to the shari'i knowledge and some of the details I have shared with you in the past 3 years in every workshop we did, a lot of details about that, which of course cannot be repeated here in this moment, as to why in the shari'i sense we have also to take this very seriously. And then in the yellow region here, there's all this yellow region in this parabola, that is seen by conventional telescopes. Conventional telescopes can see that. In other words, with the eyes and binoculars, even binoculars, you cannot see anything. Eyes, forget it. Conventional telescope would be able to see it. Now this region here, this other region in accordance to these analyses, that's a region of the world in this month where you can see the crescent only if you use some optical aid like binoculars. You locate it, and then maybe, and then you remove it. Maybe if you have a very sharp eyesight, you can see that. And that's under good atmospheric conditions. And then this light green area where these many states of the United States, including Texas and some California and South Florida and so on, and here, some of the islands in the Atlantic and so on, and all this, most of South America will be able to sight that under regular, good atmospheric conditions with the naked eye. It happened that this month, where is Texas? It's in that area. California is in that area. Florida, most of Florida is in that area. That is, if somebody says, I cited it, and confirmed by many, and in view of the facts of science, and that person is not a liar or is not a cheater, or we don't know some things about them except that they are honest people, then we accept that. As to this, green thing, is that it's very easily sighted with the naked eye, like it happened in the beginning of Ramadan, the past month. a large chunk of the world was under this color. That's why it was very easy citable. And again, I had reports which are communicated here through Brother Nafis that we had in Florida through an acquaintance of mine. 11 people saw it in the Boca Raton area because it was easily citable. Now, having said that, please, may Allah bless you all. This is ilm, facts. And the science, facts of science, not speculations of science. Facts of science are sunan of Allah Azza wa Jal. He created those laws. He made those laws. Like He made shari'i laws, He made cosmic laws. And when cosmic laws are actually facts, not speculations and conjecture, that's the law of Allah. We cannot deny it. Because most of us, I would say all of us, I hope, are so used to the sun setting at this time. Nobody goes and looks at waiting for the sun to set. Because that's accurate. It's an accurate matter. It's an exact matter. So if we know that in Plano today sunset is 8:42, something was 8:42, and somebody comes and it was 8:41 or 8:39, and he said the sun had set. No, it has not set. I am sorry. That's the fact of science. Sunset is very easy to be cited. To be computed. Exactly. But the crescent citability is not easily computable. It's probabilistic. That's why these curves, they are curves of probabilities. There is an area in which it's absolutely exact, where we can say it's absolutely impossible to be cited, and an area in which we say it's absolutely citable. These are exact science. Some area in which we say probabilistically not citable, probabilistically citable. That's as much as science can do in this matter. So, if it is in the probabilistic citability range, and a group of people said we cited it, we cannot say no to them. It's probable. It's not exact, but it's probable, and they confirmed it, since they are reliable with their claims of citing. We accept it. But if those same people came in an area where it is impossible factually, exactly to be cited, we cannot accept that. Like in this transparent area. In this transparent area, anyone who said we cited it, it's impossible. So, what happened to us this month? I hope you're not waiting only for this one. I hope you heard what I was saying. And that you keep it, inshallah, and you benefit from it. And in the future, you use it wisely and kindly, and not be trapped by anybody. Ilm is ilm. Fiqhi or kawni. Both are ilm of Allah Azza wa Jal. And both have to match one another and lend support to one another. When we have exact cosmic knowledge, we cannot give it up. These are the laws of Allah Azza wa Jal. So, about this month, well, alhamdulillah, we received the reports, and reports are still coming because, as you know, California is a little later. We received reports from Miami of friends of mine, of a colleague or student of ours, who informed us, Akhuna, Hafidhahullah, Abdul Zahir Amir, that in Miami it was cited. And they have also announced it in their masjid as a citing an announcement. Also, before that, we had announcements through Central Hilal Committee that it was sighted in Fort Lauderdale, Florida as well, and they confirmed that sighting, and they declared themselves that early on, before I was talking to you, that beginning of Shawwal is tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. So on these premises, and there will be more information to come, inshallah, I'm sure to confirm more of that. On these premises, we declare in this masjid, inshallah ta'ala, that Eid is tomorrow, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, on the basis of sighting. Actual sighting by people reliable, in conformity with factual laws of Allah in the cosmos. I'm not going to call it science, just because some people maybe don't know what science is, so they don't feel comfortable with that. Consistent with the cosmic laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in nature. And that's why Eid is tomorrow, inshallah. تقبل الله منا ومنكم جميعا. Don't start shaking hands now. It's all, Sunnah is all done tomorrow after Salatul Eid, inshaAllah ta'ala. May Allah bless you, may Allah guard you. And yes, you can pray for one another, you can pray for ourselves, for each other. You can pray for our brothers and sisters who are ill, who have afflictions, who have troubles. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relieve every brother, every sister, every person in this room and beyond from anything hard and inconvenient and anything that is hardship and affliction in their lives. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heal the sick and bless and grant mercy to those who have died. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless your hearts and ours with unity, with love for one another, with respect for one another, even when there are differences. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Eid Mubarak to all of you.
Great. Thank you.
Quick announcement. The timing for Eid prayers. There are 3 Salat timings. There is a change in second and third Salat timing. We already announced email, website, and app. First one is at 7 a.m. Second one is at 8:30. And third one is at 9:45. 7, 8:30, 9:45. Inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله